Welcome to the Tarin It Up podcast. I'm your host, Tarin. We'll be tearing it up, tearing it down, and tearing it apart, dissecting all things related to those who deviate from the standard. From leaders of their industry to leaders of mediocrity, and maybe a gear review or two thrown in. We shoot the shit and let the conversations flow, so if that's not your style, this may not be for you. Otherwise, listen in. Hope to light a fire in you somehow. Here we are. A beautiful another TNA episode. It always feels like it's been a while when we have a couple weeks of guests in between. However, it also doesn't feel like it's been that long since I've talked to you, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know, we had Angie Marie last week and then Madeline before that, and we had another one in there. God, it just seems like it's been forever, but also not. Time is fucking weird. So when I was driving to town today, I was like, it's fake. Time is not real. Like, this is insane. We are in a vortex. There is no way that this is real right now, that it is November 13th and like the holidays are freaking right here. I feel like I have no time to prepare. Not that I need to do anything, but if I get into the holiday spirit, I want it to last more than a week. Like, yeah. I don't want to just be like, oh, happy, yay, Christmas lights and fun and cookies and snow, and then it's over, and then I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yep. Year's over. This sucks.
Yeah. But it also hasn't snowed yet, and so I feel like it's not that time, even though it's completely normal to have, Thanksgiving and Christmas without snow, especially for me being from Tacoma. Not used to having feet and feet of snow on Christmas or anything like that, but I want it.
Yeah.
And I know it's only November, okay, but like I said, I just would rather be able to enjoy this like spirit if I am able to get into it longer than a week, because usually it's like the week of that I start feeling like, oh my God, I want to do this and that and celebrate the holidays.
Same.
But yeah, anyway, it's just insane the way that time moves, how fast it goes, because there is so much shit to do.
Always.
That I want to do and need to do, that I just every day I'm like, how has it come to be this time of day?
Yeah, I hear you. It just stacks up and you're like, whoa, that was a half an hour. Also, time is man-made, so you are right. It is not real.
It's just ridiculous too, because I mean, it makes me feel bad that I'm like, I had so much ambition for the day that I'm going to get all this shit done, and then I didn't. And now I just feel really bad and incapable. However, I know, and we've had this conversation, I'm sure, before, that it just takes so much more time to do things usually than you give yourself time for. So that means being really realistic with how much you have on your to-do list. But man, I want to be ambitious some days. I'm like, yeah, I can fit that all in. And it feels like there was a time that I could do it all, but right? I'm not sure if that's the truth.
Maybe the lists were smaller, or the tasks were not as like intricate.
Yeah, because I definitely would not say I used to be more focused or anything. I think that my attention span is kind of the same, and it's not always great, but sometimes it is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I feel that I used to be able to get things in better, but maybe it feels like with my workouts or something, that I have just gone through times in my life where I could really get it in the morning, and now I've been really struggling like the last year at least of getting up and just getting it in, because I think it was making me feel like it wasn't really helping. I wasn't necessarily feeling better if I got it in. And that was also, I mean, when I was doing CrossFit, that I'm like, man, I do these workouts, but now I'm like fucking dead all day.
Yeah.
Or just any high intensity. Sometimes I'd do a high intensity like spin class, and then I'd just be like, wow, now I'm wrecked. And so, yeah, figuring out that high intensity workouts just weren't working for me, but I want them to, because I love them. I loved CrossFit. I loved the fast movement, but I was just really struggling with recovery, and it was just putting me down. And then I just didn't even want to do it. And so it's been hard to get going, but I do think that this FrostFit has been helping, because one, I made the program, and a lot of times, I mean, I'm not doing the workouts side by side with my clients when I'm setting them up like with personal workouts or anything. And so for this being a group thing and pretty basic and just like general, I really wanted to stick to it and
Yeah.
not be a hypocrite of like,
Yep.
oh, you can do it and
Yeah.
get your 3 days in and let's create habits and routine going into winter and just pretend like I'm doing something and I'm not. So I've been sticking to it. And last
Got
week
it.
was tough. When I was in Kansas City, I got my workout in on Monday and I got a workout in on Tuesday, but then Wednesday, I mean, we had some good times there in Kansas City. And so Wednesday was the last day for me. And we did not set an alarm, but I also, there's no way I could have made it to the gym. Like Sunday, we got to the gym and I did a Peloton. And Monday, we got to the gym. And Tuesday, we got to the gym on 4 hours of sleep.
That's
So,
impressive.
and I haven't done that in a long time. The other 2 nights were not much sleep, not quality sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't done that in a while. So but yeah, on Wednesday I was like, and then get home Thursday and I was just like, I just need to fucking chill. And yeah. So I made up for my workouts from last week. I got all three in, but it wasn't on those like specific days. But that's just the point in this group that I am trying to make, that it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's with anybody, even if you're not following a program, there might be days that you don't get it in, and that's okay. You just have to live with that fact. But if you get your movement in, then you most likely will feel better afterwards, that at least about yourself mentally, that you got it
Yes.
in.
Oh my God, I've been loving this. I've been absolutely loving this program. We're 2 weeks in, started our third week this week today.
Today, yeah.
I did not get my work in today. However, I will get it in tomorrow. And I didn't, oh, excuse me, I didn't get Fridays in because it was a 3-day weekend in kids. So
Yeah.
there's just like you said, there's just some things that have to go on the back burner, especially when it comes to like kids or family or like
Mm-hmm.
life. You just got to be like, all right, I can't do that
And
one.
I just want to say too, with working out, I feel like you just see the shit on social media all the time, especially from people who are diehard, like need it for their mental state and are hitting it every hard and hitting it every day and hitting it hard, who preach, like never miss a Monday, or, fucking get it in every day, do this, do that. Like that's all good and great for you, but it just, not everybody needs that or needs to push this way or that way. Like I worked out in a certain way that I loved, hit and lifting heavy and stuff, but then it was just not working for me. And I really had to take a step back and be like, what the heck? And it's just, you have to find what works for you. And if you miss a day, you just can't let it throw you off the rails, but it is okay to miss a Monday. It's
Yeah.
okay. And I did just post, so I just got my workout in for Monday. I was thinking that I wasn't going to, but it just so happened to work out with the time of us meeting up here to record. Like, I have 30 minutes and I do have some stuff to finish for work, but I can whip this out, and I know that I'm gonna feel a lot better if I can get it in today instead of push it off to tomorrow, because I have another thing that I would like to do tomorrow morning, and I just wanted to stay on this schedule this week. So I was able to get it in, and I just posted to my story about how when I get really busy, the first thing to go in my schedule is my workout. And that's because I'm not prioritizing myself and my time. I'm like, no, 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 I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. And there are plenty of times that I think that I'm not saying like don't use that excuse, but evaluate it, right? Like, do you really not have time for it? Is it more important for instance, for my reason today, I had the 30 minutes. Really, if I sat down and looked at it, like, okay, yes, I can do that for 30 minutes. For you, when it comes to like Friday or today, like having time with your son is more important
Yep.
than taking that 30 minutes, unless, you could get him to do it with you or whatever. So, yeah, skip the workout, because spending that quality time with your son is way more important, and that's going to fulfill you in the way that like the workout wouldn't. If it came down to the fact of, hey, I really need this for my mental state because also like, yeah, having the kid, it can be crazy. So you might need that time sometimes away from them and for yourself. But yeah, you just have to really, I think, be honest with yourself about, like I said yesterday too in my post, like, is this an excuse or are these real feelings and reasons and it's okay?
Yeah. Also, where are you at in your cycle?
Yep.
Where are you at in your energy cycle? Like what can you give today?
Yeah. And that's the thing too of why I almost didn't do it today because I'm feeling slow. My joints hurt really bad. My knee has been hurting. It's and what we have is lunges and squats and it's like, yeah, this isn't, it's not going to feel great, but I also know it's not this chronic crazy pain and injury that I should avoid these movements. So I did the minimum numbers. I did a lighter weight. I did the lighter reps for the sets and the lightest amount of sets, least amount of sets. And I got it in. And also, since we're particularly training tempo this week, it was slow. And I felt like that really kind of helped me just like focus on the movement and not move too quickly. So I'm focusing on the movement and moving properly and not just quickly.
And your posture and your yes, I'm glad that this week is a tempo week because
Yeah, it's
I've
aligning for you.
yes, because I've always like first week you're just kind of like figuring things out and you're also doing like a check-in with your body. Like first week,
Mm-hmm.
my dude, like I did Monday's workout and I couldn't work out again until Thursday because I was so sore. It was bad. It was bad. And it was just like a major reality check because I don't know the last time I had picked up weights
Mm-hmm.
consistently and like did a hit workout or did fucking anything for that matter. So it was just really good to like do a check-in, and then it was also lovely that the following week were the similar movements because
Mm-hmm.
then you can like redeem yourself and like
Yeah.
and like get a better feel for like what you want to do with how the intention and like so I upped my reps,
Mm-hmm.
I upped my weights, which this week I want to up my weights to 10 pounds, so I think I'm going to do that. But we'll see how this workout goes tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said too. It's like a chance to redeem yourself, and that just means you just like feel better about yourself as well. Like, okay, I'm not just when things are changing all the time. So that's why repetition is important with anything in life, and it gets really hard to do the same things over and over. But sometimes you have to, but it's also a good thing because you can then actually see your progress
Yes,
and you
yes,
see where you started and what you're doing. And I think just in any kind of things in life where you can have those check-ins and see like, hey, this is where I started and this is where I am now, is it's just so great for your own mental health.
yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times when you do it for the first time, you're just like figuring it out and to
Everything, like think about mountain biking and the
oh
first time we
God.
went, and I talk about this all the time with a couple trails that like I remember doing them for the first time and just feeling like, oh my God, I can never do this again. But and now anytime I do a new trail, I try to have that same thought. I think about like, yeah, well, remember when I rode Jackass on a $125 hardtail and my seat wouldn't stay up? Like, and
Yes,
I
I do
had
remember that.
old like brakes, then like, yeah. And now look at now. So of course, the first time is not always pretty. Things aren't
Oh,
always pretty, but and they don't have to be pretty or perfect. And practice does not make perfect, but it makes things better.
exactly.
So I'm just glad to have it and have a group of people because it's keeping me accountable because I really want to keep up a routine through the
Yeah.
winter when I am so busy and try to find the time, like not put myself off and my workouts off when I am busy. Cause yeah, we've talked about this before too, as women, just our needs go first when other needs are in front of us, whether it's work, family, what any kind of relationships. Like, oh yeah, I don't need to do this. Like, and that's the thing, fucking Saturday. I had planned to do like my workout Friday, so I would be totally done with the week, but I got caught up in doing chores and all these things, and then I felt bad because Andrew was doing stuff around here and I didn't want to be working out while he's working on the property like a race against
Yes.
time for winter. So I was like, well, I'll do all this stuff that I was going to do Sunday. I was like, I'll just do it now because I can't be doing something for myself right now while he's doing something for both of us. However, Sunday is his day that he goes and plays disc golf, and he was going to go watch the football game with friends. So I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? He's taking all day Sunday for him. Why am I trying to make myself feel guilty when I was going to use Sunday for like my chore day?
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, just one of those
Part
things
of
where
it.
it's
It's
like,
just
and
part of it.
there's no pressure from him on
No.
me. This is all me doing
Yes.
this to myself. And yeah, today it's like, yeah, with work, you have priorities, family, you have priorities, you have the shit you need to get done. But, and that's where I kind of get disappointed with myself as well. Like, well, if I could just get up at 5 o'clock every day and get my workout in, but I, again, just know that I did that for years and it was not helping my body. I was not seeing progress that I wanted to. And that could be multiple other things, sleep and nutrition and all this. But I've just really been trying to, you know, work out at different times of the day when my body is feeling the best because right now I have the flexibility to do that. So why the fuck would I make myself do something at a time that I'm not fully prepared when I have all the room in the world to do it at a different time?
Yep.
But I just have to do it, and that's the harder part for me.
Yes.
Is like not is doing it if it's not first thing. But man, it's just all fucking
Balance.
yes.
Balance
Whatever that
always
looks
and
like.
forever.
Some kind.
I've had a
Imbalance.
really hard time with focusing lately. Like
Yeah.
this quarter, I don't know if it's because my first quarter back or like social media is different or what, but I'm just like, I catch myself scrolling and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You should be doing your homework. Or like, I just I'm having such a hard time focusing. And maybe it's because two of my classes are online. And so the
Mm.
option to like actually sit down and do the stuff is like on me. And
Yeah, you're switching a tab. And
yes,
yeah, I totally get that because it's been an adjustment working from home. I mean, I started out slowly with having a couple days remote and, getting to where I am now, but it definitely took some discipline and time and figuring out multiple ways to kind of compartmentalize times and literally kind of set alarms of okay, or if I'm not focusing, step away and like, do I need to get my workout in now then? and
yeah,
and get this over with because that's all I'm thinking about. And like I said, I'm lucky that I have the flexibility to be able to say, okay, guess what? I'm gonna go for that walk or workout right now and come back to this instead of just think about that the whole time and not be focusing or something.
rest over it.
Yeah, but if there's
Also, I'm
something you
so
can do,
tired. My
yeah.
body's just like sleep.
Well, time change too, circadian rhythms all fucked. I mean, it's 6 o'clock, or well, not now, but it was when I was doing my workout, and I'm like, it's 8. I never work out at this hour. I'm like, oh no, it's not. I still don't work out at 6 usually, but the fact that it's pitch black, it just made me feel like it was so late. Um, and yeah, I'm just have to switch my mindset too. It's really hard to not, as soon as it's dark, you're like, bedtime, where's dinner, where's this? And you lose
Wow.
4 hours of your day because you
Mhm.
just are ready to turn off and like, no, 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 it's not time. I still, could be working or need to be working or doing whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just just craziness. And then I'm trying to stay focused and not let my mind go crazy as we have so much to do with the store coming from this trade show. That was my first trade show, first big trade show. Okay, let me reword this. No, it was my first trade show with the whole TMS like buying team because I went
Yeah.
to a trade show for one day with Jackie, my friend and our apparel buyer last year, just yeah, to see what it was like. And so yeah, I got that experience. That was a traditional kind of trade show. This one was very different. It's very organized. It's all like appointment based, and it's hard to explain if you're not familiar with trade shows or in the outdoor industry or just I think trade shows in general. But anyways, Sunday was an education day all day long. There was different workshops and stuff like that. And then Monday, we had a bunch of business meetings. They were every half an hour from like 9 to 5:30. There
Oh,
was a couple, they do a lunch break, which is nice. The whole convention center takes lunch at the same time. And during this lunch, there's also some workshops you could go to or something going on. But yeah, we had 14 business meetings on Monday. So it was like, whoa, just like a lot of information.
God.
And then Tuesday we had a couple more. And I also got to spend some time with the Dovetail ladies on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we left because I was supposed to leave Tuesday, but I changed my ticket because there's a couple things I didn't want to miss on Tuesday and wanted the opportunity to just be there longer and talk to more people and do things. So it was awesome. Got to meet a lot of people, and it definitely just lit a nice, fun fire under me. I didn't feel overwhelmed per se because I was just like excited to get moving on this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, holy shit, there's a lot to kind of do and go back to. And hopefully I have all the right notes for everything. Cause like I said, just for all that being in one day, it was like, whoa.
Yeah,
But
that's a
yeah,
lot of
met,
one day.
yeah, it's a lot of
I'm like,
meetings on it.
geez, that sounds exhausting.
Yeah. And everyone's busy. I mean, all the buyers are jam packed too. Their appointments are typically longer because they're doing like full line showings for their next season's buy. So their appointments can be 1 to 2 hours. So they're like I said, they had like less per day, but Jackie was there for 4 days in a row, like stacked days. So overall, like what she had to do was a lot of shit. Um, so yeah, coming back from it, I feel like it's just the kind of coming down from like a top spinning, like, okay, let me get my head wrapped around what I need to
Social
do next.
battery.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that too. People all day. And then we hung out like every night. But super cool to get to spend some more time with our reps, a couple of them that I know and have hung out with, but just to get to hang out with them a little bit more. One of them that we talked to, he was like, so I don't know, the podcast came up a few times with people, whether I brought it up or other people usually would bring it up to me. And so we're chatting, me and one of our reps, and then the next day he's like, hey, do you read? And I was like, I mean, I can, but like, like, what are you asking? Like, do I read like often or like what? Like, I do like to read, but I'm not a big reader where I put the time to it all the time. Anyway, I instantly knew where he was going. I just had this feeling, and he was like, well, I just picked up this book. I think you would really love it. And I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, it's called She Rides. I was like, I knew it.
yeah.
Um, so he's reading it, and yeah, he's like, he just made me think of you about our conversation yesterday and stuff. And that was just really cool. Like, so just, actually getting to talk to people about stuff like that instead of industry only
Yeah.
things. And
Also,
I'm
you
yeah, go
sent
ahead.
me that book, and I don't have the capacity to read it quite yet, but I'm really hoping for winter break I'll be able to bust it out.
I was gonna ask you, I'm like, oh my God, I've been meaning to ask Amber if she received that. I don't even know if I
Yes.
asked her. I was like, I don't know if she started it because I also know that I'm sure there's not a lot of extra space in your life right now to read for pleasure. But I do want to reach out to her soon and see if we can get her on. It would probably be after the holidays anyway, because realistically, just people in general are so busy right now. But I want to reach out to her and just kind of put it out there. She was on another local podcast recently. I haven't listened to that episode, but the podcast is called Mind the Track,
Okay.
and it's a couple local guys. They do it's like about, well, I don't know, they talk in the summer like single track, in the winter they talk about the skin track. So just talking to people in the outdoors and a lot of athletes, it seems like, so far too. But I've listened to a few of their episodes, and one of the guys owned a restaurant in downtown Truckee. He just sold it. Well, he sold it like last year, but he's just now finally like transitioning out of it. Um, but yeah, so give it a listen, people who want to listen
Find the
to
track.
Mind the Track. But
Well,
yeah, so it was really fun. Got all done. I also met one of the founders of NARA. Yeah,
ooh.
so I talked to her about how I had Anna from Chick-fil-A on, which all you listeners out there, that episode will be released next Wednesday instead of Thursday. So Nara, formerly She Fly, Georgina, I think that's her name. I forgot to double check before I said it, but yeah, super stoked to have had a conversation with her. They were at the event on Sunday. There's also the Discovery Marketplace, so there was a bunch of vendors there who weren't in the show part. So like Wild Eye was in that Discovery Marketplace, and yeah, and a few other awesome brands, but that was super cool to just put a face to the name and the brand. So
That is rad.
yeah. And so I did want to mention, since I just said that we're going to drop that episode next Wednesday instead of Thursday, that's because next Wednesday, November 22nd, is Women Led Wednesday. So that is just a very great day of a bunch of female focused brands, women led. And I think everybody should shop women led often, but especially Wednesday.
Yeah, especially Wednesday.
Yeah. So
And
maybe I'll do a little intro to like that episode about Women Led Wednesday. But yeah, excited for you all to hear about Chick-fil-A too.
so cool. What a
More because you did hear from her at Swell in the Swell compilation for 10 or 15 minutes or so. But the conversation we had with her was just so great. So many things I did not expect, like so many ways that
same,
conversation went. I was like, holy shit.
same, same. And it just goes to show how like multifaceted we are as people and how it doesn't take just one track to get to a single place. Like however you get to your place, just get there and do it with passion and do it with fire because good things will come out of it for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's not A to Z, like in a perfect order. It's A to Z to W to Z to B, just back and forth. Sometimes it feels like, one step forward, five steps back. It could
Yeah,
just
and I
That's
don't
just the way it
know if
goes.
like that smooth transition is like automatically like in our thought process or if like we're just like led to believe that things are so smoothly executed and that things just go from A to B.
I do not think it's innate in us, that mindset. I think
Yeah.
it's fully fed to us because of how it was set up of this is what you do is go to school, like go to college, get married, have kids, get a job, or get a job, whatever, before that, however the order is supposed to go. Um, that's just what we were told. No one said it was supposed to be smooth. They just said this is what it's supposed to look like. And whether it's smooth or not, you just have to bite the bullet and do it that way.
Yep.
And there's no other way
And I
to
wish
do
that
it.
I don't know if people did this for you or maybe they did this for us, but like I wish people stressed more how challenging things are and how much you grow through the challenges. Like I
Yeah.
wish people were just like embedding that in us instead of like the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah. That there's adversity in
Yeah,
life and things, like you said, things aren't smooth. Because I don't think it's that we are fed that things are smooth and you just go from here to here to here. But people don't
it's
talk about
left
the
out.
challenges.
Yes, it's left out. And I don't
Yeah.
know if it's like intentionally left out or like if people if it's like a defense mechanism in our own brains where we're like, oh, we just forgot how hard that was. But there's some things in life, some damn things like raising children where it's just like, oh my God, this is so hard and I'm drowning and my relationship
Mm-hmm.
is struggling and it'll be that way until the kids don't think we're cool anymore. Like it's just
Yeah, I think it's all of those things, really. I think that it's left out talking about the challenges because maybe in some circumstances, you say you've gone through the challenges, you don't want to scare the other person. And
I'm here for scaring people.
yeah, totally.
I really am.
Another reason I think challenges are left out, or when it comes to maybe work or something where you don't want to tell the person the challenges because you're actually trying to derail them and you don't want them to find an easier route. You want them to go through the same struggles you went through, as if it's not fair if they get the easy route. And it's like, yeah, but you learned something, so why don't you want to help someone just be better? They're not it's not easier route per se, or it's not like they're not going to learn anything. And also they may not go through the same lessons anyway as you. So why not share your knowledge and information to help someone get somewhere a different way? And then three, I do think you black it out sometimes because of, again, I can take it back to mountain biking, a trail that maybe I haven't done like a million times, but I've definitely done it. And then you're even on the trails that I've done a lot, all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I forgot about this whole section because I hate it. It's like this last punch of the climb or whatever. You're like thinking you're right there and you're like, son of a bitch. Like there's two
You
more like
again.
corners here, not that. So yeah, I think it's a combination of all of those things that the challenges are not talked about or focused on. And it's, you know, negative.
Yes, absolutely.
So why do we want to talk about that? Although a lot of things we talk about mostly, like when you're talking with your friends, stuff is negative. You're shit talking, you're venting, you're complaining about this or that, and you're not talking about the positives because you look like you're bragging or something if you are talking about the positives. So what
Yeah.
where
Or
the
if it
where the fuck
was
do you win?
for you,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which for some people things are just easier, which good on you.
Yeah. And yeah, and there's different phases of life where like, oh, this was easier then than it is now. Well, like even with children, sometimes, you know, maybe the first one was harder, the second one's easier. Maybe it's vice versa because your life situation has changed. School, was school easier for you younger, or is it easier for you now? Like,
It was definitely easier younger. I was significantly more focused.
yeah.
Also, it
Yeah.
was like in person classes all
Hmm.
through.
Yeah. I did not do well with online classes, which was why I was kind of afraid of online. I'm like, can I work remotely? But
You're
that
doing
was,
it.
I mean, my first online classes were when I was like 19, and that was just, yeah, so out of the norm. Now it's completely become norm to be so connected. So it's
Yeah.
not been a super hard transition whatsoever. And it's been a transition that I wanted. So it was better. But it's so hard to believe, like just thinking about that now of like how much I fucking hated that online
Yeah.
class and like failed it within the first 2 weeks pretty much because I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Just totally forgot about it. My friend Jordan would be like, did you do the homework? I'm like, I haven't even looked at the, I forgot I was registered.
Yes, exactly.
I had no idea. Like,
Dude, I
how,
have that
and
feeling too.
it was like, you iPhones, I don't even know if I had an iPhone yet or still a sidekick. There was a way though that you could connect your email at that time to your phone, but that it took like a lot of effort because that was the only way I could see
Dude,
the email. It was so weird.
you
Such a
are
weird
throwing
time.
it way back
Yeah.
there. You are throwing it way the fuck back there.
Yeah.
You
With,
said sidekick. Let's
yeah.
talk about, I think the first internet iPhone thing that I had was like that iPod touch thing.
Oh, yeah. The iPod Touch.
Yeah. That was that was the first time that I was like, I can transfer money at while I'm at this restaurant right now. Like that's so fucking cool.
Oh, yeah. Because that was
From your
before,
bank
wait, was that
account.
before the iPhone, the iPad Touch? I never had one of those. I just had an iPod. But then I got the Sidekick, which I got on eBay after selling a TomTom navigation system that I won in a raffle. I won this TomTom navigation at
We're
a,
throwing
a
back that you some to all these like younger millennials that are listening to us are like, what the fuck are these bitches saying? What is this? What are these like foreign words that they're saying?
yeah. Yeah, I was cruising eBay often.
Yes, dude, it's still kicking. And I feel like the last time I went to their website, it looked just like it did when they
I'm
first
sure
started
it
it out.
does. I think
eBay holders, what's up?
I think I sold my Sidekick on eBay too after I was done with it, but maybe I should
Ah,
check it out again. I feel like
I
it'll make a comeback vintage, you know?
totally, hell yeah, vintage things are coming back. Like
Things will be even more expensive on it because of the fact that it was sold on eBay.
100.
Oh my God.
Very
Well, oh, I was gonna say something to just going back to what you mentioned about not talking about hard things, just real quick. So tonight was the first practice for wrestling for the season for the high school, and the coach mentioned a quote from a Olympic medalist Dan Gable, and the quote goes, "Once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy." And I just had to like laugh to myself because I'm like, yeah, what a thing to hear in high school. So true.
Yeah.
And then me and one of the other coaches, he mentioned it again, he brought it up and he just had a baby. And I was like, yeah, you feel that way until you hit your 30s. And it's like I would beg to be back in high school wrestling. Like I
Mm.
would hope that wrestling was the hardest thing that I went through. But I mean, point being that it's definitely a great character building sport for mental toughness and attitude and everything. And I do attribute a lot of my personality and character to having wrestled for as long as I did. But yeah, I'm just like,
Okay.
I wish it made everything easier. And
Back.
it does because I have a like tougher mental capacity.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I went running with my ex-boyfriend from high school who was a wrestler, and I was a crybaby little bitch, and he was just like, "What? It's just 5 miles." And I'm like, "I'm dying. I can't even run 2 blocks." Also, this weekend I went out in public, and there was a woman who is doing the FrostFit because she knows you. I forget her name, but she was like down in Tahoe, and you met her through Hillary down in Tahoe. God, I forget her name. She looks like this woman named Stacy that I know. Anyways, her
She
boyfriend knows.
lives in Tahoe right now.
No, she's back up in Washington now. She lived in Tahoe. Now she's back up in Washington. I don't
Oh,
know where.
Carrie.
Carrie, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Carrie's doing CrossFit. Bad bitch. Shout
Yeah,
out to
yeah,
Carrie.
yeah.
And she was like, I got my boyfriend to do it too because she told him that you are doing it. And he was like, oh, Tarin's a wrestler. So anything she's doing, I fully trust her. And I was like, dude, same, because I saw her wrestle a 300-pound man once and just totally annihilate him. And ever since then, I've been in love with this woman and also trust her with my entire life because of that. So it's just like, you're right. Wrestling has done you good, my friend. Like, and I don't know her partner and I don't know anything about him, but I'm like, dude, I fucking get it.
Oh
I
gosh, that's
get it.
awesome. Carrie's also a physical therapist.
Ooh,
Yeah,
look
she I think she
at
just
that.
graduated
Badass.
from
Love
down in southern-ish California because her and her husband are in Mammoth, I think, around Mammoth. Are they back in Washington full time now, or was she just
it.
visiting?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
okay, okay.
No
Well,
idea.
yeah, they're awesome. I've only
I
gotten
met.
to hang out with them a handful of times, really, and I didn't meet them until I came to Tahoe. We missed ships at Crystal. I didn't know her there or Scotty, but yeah, since then I've met them from being down here and them coming to visit and all that. So they're awesome. And that's so funny and great to hear. When she signed up, I was like, yes, because like I said, I was like physical therapist. Okay, she can like she knows body movements and yeah, I'm like, she'll do great at this.
It was great to see someone out in real life and be like, oh my God, you're doing something too. Because also, like, I'm posting my workouts trying to get people to like interact
Mhm.
on social media and being like, oh yes, I'm doing it too. Which I talked to my girlfriend recently, Alicia, who invited me to her holiday party, and I was like, oh blah blah blah. And then she like just slightly mentioned that she's doing the workouts, and I'm like, girl, let's talk about this. Like, I don't know. I like, just like you, like, I want to hear more feedback. I want to hear what people are thinking. Like, I mean,
Well,
I
and
have
it's
a
like we're in
million
it
thoughts.
together. Let's talk
Yes,
about it. But
yes,
yeah,
camaraderie.
there's a lot of people who are kind of like just doing it silently and in the works. And I'm like, you know what? That is fine.
Yes,
That is fine. But I do love and want more of the community aspect because yeah, I love group classes and things like that for the camaraderie and community of it. But I also know that I enjoy working out at home too and kind of being on my own schedule. So I've been in this place of, yeah, how do you find that balance of it? Like having the community, the camaraderie, and having the flexibility to do it on your own. But also, you know, I do wish that there was more people around that I could like, oh, just come over and let's get it done. But
yes,
living out in the fucking hills now, anyways, makes it a little bit hard to do anything with anybody.
yes,
So
yeah,
um
yeah.
I'm just taking it for what it is for now. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just fun to have that connection with people, to realize, like you said, you go out and you're like, oh my God, you're doing that too. That's so
Yes,
cool.
yes. So shout out to Carrie, shout out to Amy
Yes.
K, shout out to Alicia, shout out
Yeah.
to all the people that are doing the FrostFit because this is Tarin's first go about it and our first podcast challenge.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Totally.
And yeah, it's just I'm excited to see what will happen next and like what will come of this.
Well, we
I
did the
hope,
Strava ones too.
yes.
So that was fun. The July, August
Yep.
mileage challenge we did, that was really fun. And I want to do that like each August. And maybe we can do one like in the winter too. Strava's just another beast though. Like if you're on Strava and joining a club or challenge on Strava, then you're
Free for
gonna
all.
probably like be a little more communicative in the groups.
Yeah.
But again, there's plenty of people on there who weren't like, we weren't talking about it, but you could just see, everyone could see their progress. I don't know. Can you see other people's progress?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's
I
see,
haven't
that's
felt
what it's hard for me. It's like I
actual.
can, obviously. I have the participant side and the owner side of it also. I'm like, I don't know if other people can see that, because on one hand, I can see wanting to keep it
I
private. On
can't.
another, I would be like, well, then Amber could text me and be like, "Hey, why didn't you get it in today? Let's do it right now."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
But
has everyone who joined, are they marking stuff off?
no, some people are, some people are not. There's a lot of people who are not, and that's where I'm like, I don't know if they're getting it in or not. And
Yeah,
but you know, that's what happens a lot. I've been there plenty of times, joined a program or something, a challenge, and I did like a week or a workout and never again.
yeah.
But that's why I wanted the group part and a small group, because the things I've done have been very big that I'm like, who's even talking to me, whatever. So I wanted to keep it nice and small and intimate, so that you, yeah, felt like you could get the attention you need from me and just like actually make connections with other people. Feel like you're talking to real people. But yeah, so I fully expected like maybe a 5% completion from it. So we'll see. But because like I said, sometimes people just don't, technology wise, they don't care. They don't want to hit this or that, or um go back later and mark it off or whatnot. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been keeping me accountable
Yeah,
since. So
same. I'm excited to see results. I'm excited to like carry this on through and chill and into the ski season because I really feel like this is definitely doing something.
yeah, gotta stick it out. And that's the hardest part with anything, right? Is sticking things out and just doing them, repeating the patterns that get either boring or all the excuses, like I said, come up. But also, if it's just not that important to you, you're not going to do it. And that's just what it comes down to, honestly. And I've been honest with myself about that. Like, yeah, I love working out, but there's times that it's obviously not my main priority. Otherwise, I'd be fucking doing it. And I have to tell myself that hard truth. And then when I do, I'm like,
That's
okay, well,
it.
I want it to be a priority. So how do I make it that? What do I do? What do I need to do to make it that, instead of just wish that it was easy for me to get up and do this every day? Because for the people that are hardcore in those things, it's not always easy for them to get up at 4 a.m. before a 20-hour workday. Like one of my good friends who's just a fucking maniac and busted out, Natalie, shout out, is just amazing. But it's this mental toughness she has, and she knows that for her to operate in the way that she wants to operate in the world and move through the world, she has to do that.
Yes.
So she does,
Good.
and that's
Yep.
what works for her.
Yeah.
And it does show. My God.
Yeah. Oh, do tell.
She's amazing. Also, girl I want on the podcast. I've been trying to get her on. She's just has a crazy schedule. She's amazing. But anyways, sorry everyone out there. Hopefully we didn't bore you too much with just the FrostFit program. We're just, excited about having something that's keeping us accountable and getting us into the winter and holiday season and the craziness where you just want to put shit off,
Yeah.
especially if it's your priority.
Yeah. Self-care out the window.
Out
Bye.
the window. Speaking of that too, I am really trying to see how long I can go without drinking. I haven't set like a 1 week or this, or and it's probably not gonna be long or anything, but after, last week, and I've been like even before that just imbibing a little more than I like had been, not excessively, but just like
enough to make a
often,
noticeable.
too often. So it wasn't like too much every night, like one or two, but like every night or something, where there was a long time that it wouldn't be every night and just a couple nights or few nights a week. So I was like, oh, I don't want to have a beer like every day, even if just one or two. And so now I'm like, yeah, let's see if I can push it off for a little while, because yeah, I just do want to focus on some other things. But now
I can
saying
say
that, I have a ladies' night Thursday and we'll see, how it goes. But I just gotta at least like, whew, reel that in.
yeah. Especially after a good time of not reeling it in.
Yep, exactly. Letting that
Oh.
line go downstream. But yeah.
I think that that's also part of the balance too, is like letting fucking go
Yeah.
and like not being the like
Yeah, not so regimented and not judging yourself, or again, like feeling bad if you are.
for having a fucking hangover day. Okay.
Yeah,
And if you don't have time to have a hangover day, then don't. But
exactly.
I will
And that's
say,
why I think it's easier for me to be at this point right now. I'm like, I really don't have time. And I mean, thank God for my friend Jackie, who is the one who got our asses to the gym. I wouldn't have fucking done that. She's the one who did that. And but yeah, I knew that and I realized that I'm like, okay, yeah, I first of all, obviously I'm at home not gonna do that every night, but like I don't have her to wake me up at this hour to get it in. So now I need to reevaluate some things this week. And yeah,
also
I
when you
don't have time to feel like shit right now. So I gotta chill
chill.
out.
Also,
Yeah.
being hungover with children is the absolute worst. Like whoever invented hangover days with kids is Satan himself. It is.
I love that. Whoever invented this.
Whoever invented that is
So
Satan.
funny. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up for you guys as we end our rants and catch ups on just, the insanity and whatever's of life. So next week we'll hear from Anna from Chick-fil-A. Then, gosh. Oh, so we won't talk to you.
Next
So if
week,
you, what's that?
next week being this week
Women.
that we are in. So it would be a latter week because we are in the time warp continuum that would be the week after. So
Well, when they hear this, it
last
will be
week,
next week,
wait, when are we posting this one?
Thursday,
Okay.
November 16th. Will
Shit.
be when you folks are listening to this.
Okay, got it. So we're double dosing the people with episodes this week.
Wednesday, November 22nd. Next week
Oh,
will
got
be.
it. Okay, got it.
So look out for that. And Women Led Wednesday. Shop all the women things all the time.
Always.
And with that, we will see you later.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.